Hey Taurus, what's happening, what's crackalacking, and what's poppin', baby? It's your boy for CancerMoonsTarot coming at you guys with your mid-April 15th through the 30th love tarot reading. I hope you guys are doing awesome. If so, let me know down in the comments down below. Keep in mind this reading is general. If it resonates, that's awesome. If not, it's not your message. Feel free to check out any other amazing tarot readers that we got here on YouTube, okay? These messages may resonate backwards or vice versa, so take them as they resonate if they apply to your particular situation. If you guys would like, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is all linked down below, and you guys can also check out my sister and her boyfriend's YouTube channel. That is the first link in the description if you guys want to take a look into my family's life. Nonetheless, Taurus, I hope you guys have been well. I want to wish you guys a very happy early birthday as we're moving into Taurus season quite soon. So happy early birthday to you guys. I hope you're looking forward to it. And I hope you guys are making the best with what you could do, especially those of you that are in lockdown and things of that nature. My birthday's in June. I'm sure that I'll have a quarantine birthday as well. I know it's not the most fun thing to look forward to, but, you know, make do with what you got and celebrate another year of life because, hey, man, I'm grateful to be alive, and I'm sure you guys are as well. So let's get into it, man, and see what we got going on. Messages for Taurus here. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs throughout April 15th through the 30th. Messages for Taurus, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs throughout April 15th through the 30th. All right, Bowl Gang. Let's go ahead and get a couple more shuffles in. Messages for Taurus here. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs throughout April 15th through the 30th. All right, baby. Let's go ahead and get one last shuffle and see what messages we got coming through. Hopefully we got some fantastic stuff. What's cracking for the bulls? Taurus, the overall energy for you guys here is the Nine of Cups. I like it. You possibly here could be connecting with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. In regards to the Nine of Cups being your overall energy, this is something that talks about self-fulfillment, really focusing on what is bringing inner happiness, love, and peace and tranquility into your life. The Nine of Cups is a very self-serving card, and it's not a self-serving card in a negative connotating way. You know, like how you can call somebody selfish because they're doing what they want. No, there's a difference between being selfish and there's a difference between being self-serving. This is the energy of taking care of yourself. And I think that you're in a position right now where you're quite happy with that, okay? Now, rolling into your current energy, we have the Temperance card. The person you're dealing with here is the King of Wands, and then the outcome that's present is the Seven of Wands. So you're blocking out whoever this king is. It could be a fire sign, Aries, Sag, or Leo. I think you needed healing, and you needed time off, and you needed time to focus on yourself after you were serving a king, or whoever this King of Wands was. Because what this looks like to me was somebody who promised you a beginning, who promised you a path, who promised you a lot of things, and kind of didn't necessarily look at what they didn't fulfill, like what they didn't keep up with their word is kind of the message that's coming through. Because take a look at the King of Wands here. The King of Wands is looking directly at the Ace of Wands. Now, this is what the king here has promised you. You know, he's promised to deliver this, right? Passion, love, an exciting relationship. This is a person who is whispering sweet nothings. But when you really take a look at the king, he's looking out in the distance. He's not looking at this. It's almost like he's turning his head to the actual wand here. So I feel that even though this person you were connecting with could have promised many things for you and could have promised a relationship or promised that they loved you or this, that, and the third, whispered sweet nothings, buttered you up, this person could have said a lot of things. I feel like they looked away from what they were going to give you, which was a relationship and love and things of that nature. This is somebody who kind of went against their word. And over here with the Temperance card, it took some time for you to heal from that. You had to reflect from this connection, you know, the Temperance. You had to reflect from this connection. You had to reflect from being let down. And chances are you've been in situations where you have been let down before. So from what I'm seeing, I think you've got to this place, Taurus, at the mid-month mark where you recognize I need to take some time off from dealing with other people and opening myself up to other people because I have a life of mine that I need to kind of get in the order of where I want to be. So Seven of Wands here, the outcome. You end up kind of putting your boundaries back up, putting your emotional walls back up, and not only blocking yourself away from this person, distancing yourself from this person, but kind of distancing yourself from the world. I think you're living in your head a little bit here, Taurus, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel like right now you are very much so focused on how to get your inner peace, your inner happiness, your inner tranquility back, and I don't think right now that you are ready to be open to meeting new people or anything of that nature. I feel like you're just focusing on yourself, and that's okay. You know, it took some healing after somebody here didn't deliver a false promise. It took some healing when your expectations were basically not living up to it, right? This person didn't live up to the expectations that you had of the connection or the relationship, nor with what they said they'd fulfill. So I think right now you're in a space where you feel like somebody here kind of teeter-tottered with your emotions and teeter-tottered with your feelings and got them all mixed and jumbled. And I think that that type of vulnerability is something that you don't really want to engage in for a little bit. You want to take a step back. Now, clarifying the King of Wands here, let's take a look at this. Why is the King of Wands here for the person that Taurus is dealing with? All right, and we got here the Ace of Cups. This is a person who very well likely could have told you they loved you. But if they loved you, why did they look the other way? You know, you feel like there was a voice of deception here, Taurus. You feel like who you were connecting with was feeding you bullshit. Like I said, that sweet nothing whispers, right? Taking a look at the bottom of the deck, you got here the Ace of Pentacles, and taking a look at the top of the deck, you got here the Emperor. It seems to me that if this person could have the control of being the one who takes initiative in the connection, being the one who can kind of like have some sort of power over you. You know, this is hard to explain, and I'm trying to find the right word. So give me 1 second, guys. This is what it feels like to me, Taurus. If this person could teeter-totter with your emotions to make you think that they were going to be in a relationship with you, then that gave them power. And that gave them power because they were having power over your emotions. I hope that makes sense, because it was a little difficult to explain. So as I mentioned, if this person could teeter-totter with your emotions and make you believe that they were going to have a relationship with you, then that meant that they had control over your emotions because they got you invested into them. So, you know, Ace of Cups over here, King of Wands over here, why lie that you love me? For power, for control, for that type of energy to infiltrate your system, for this person to have something on you or something over you. You know, you could even call it a spell over you. In the end, this person wanted some sort of control here, is what I'm seeing. Interesting. All right, so what I'm going to do here, Taurus, is we're going to go deeper into the story. I'm going to take a look at the person you're dealing with. I'll see how they feel towards you and what's going on with them throughout the second half of April. Then I'll take a look at how you feel towards them, what's going on with you throughout the second half of April. We'll see where energies are aligning, and then we'll see the outcome for the second half. Now, in regards to who Taurus is dealing with, how do they feel towards Taurus, and what is going on with them throughout April 15th through the 30th? Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Throughout April 15th to the 30th. How does the person that Taurus is dealing with feel towards Taurus, and what is going on with them throughout April 15th through the 30th of 2020? Let's take a look. First card out, and I don't have reversals in this deck, and it came out Seven of Swords in reverse. That's interesting to see. Second card out, we got here the Moon card. Then we got here the High Priestess, the Eight of Wands, the Magician, the King of Cups, the World card, and the Hierophant card. Here's the thing about magicians, because that was really kind of speaking out to me. A magician is very good at making things that are very fake appear to be very real. Have you ever seen magic tricks and how real they can look, but the hidden gems that are behind it? And from what I'm seeing in this current situation, this person was very good at making things that were blatantly fake appear very real, and that was emotions. We got here the Seven of Swords reversed, and we got here the Moon card. Okay? The individual here that you're connecting with knew how to get you in a very emotional state. They knew how to make you feel attracted to them, is basically what I'm seeing. So who you're connecting with knew how to reel you in. They knew how to make you feel attracted to them. They knew how to make you feel safe. They knew how to manipulate your emotions. And with the Seven of Swords in reverse here, I don't even think this person recognizes that they were doing anything wrong in the first place. It kind of feels to me like the person you're dealing with has kind of operated this way for a long time, to almost where they've become numb to their wrongs. It's like who you're dealing with here, Taurus, has probably done that to many people, where they've whispered sweet nothings and have had this player type kind of energy and have reeled in multiple people and have gotten to a point where they're so used to that they're so numb to the fact that it's wrong that they don't believe it's wrong. And over here with your person, High Priestess card to the Eight of Wands, they felt like you know, if they continued playing the games they were playing, you would continue to chase them. So you were connecting with an individual who wanted you to chase them because they wanted you to get to the point, Taurus, where you were so emotionally invested in them to the point where they could have that kind of control and that kind of power. But what I don't really get with this person is what was their gain? What was the reason they wanted any sort of power over you or control over you? Is it fun for them? Did they thrive over it being fun? Were they looking for sex? Were they looking for someone to pass the time with? What is that true answer? We're going to try to get down to the bottom of that. But either way, the Magician card here, the King of Cups, going back to that key component, if someone here can be doing something very fake but making it appear real, you know, you got yourself a magician here. And your person over here seems to be a magician because they can make their fake emotions seem so real towards you. And over here we got the World card and then the Hierophant. So Taurus energy, fixed energy. You could be connecting with an Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, or Leo. With these two last cards, this is what I find the most interesting about this person. Because who you were connecting with, Taurus, wanted to enter a cycle with you, wanted to enter a commitment with you. Someone was in here for the long haul, but they withdrawed from that. So what they were projecting to you is that they wanted a relationship. What they were projecting to you was that they wanted a long-term commitment, or they wanted a connection that would thrive into a commitment. You know, they were winning you over as much as they can, and they backed out. So we need clarification on that. You know, clarify why this person backed out from Taurus's life, and why they ultimately were playing around with their emotions in the first place. Like, what was to gain here? We got here the Five of Pentacles, and we got here the Two of Swords. For some Tauruses, the person you were dealing with could have very well likely been after finances. They could have been after financial comfort, financial gain. So if any of you Tauruses have the funds, this person could have been the type of individual who wanted to get money out of you or wanted to get some sort of financial security and stability. But also, I think that really why this person was involved in your life and trying to keep you around was for the fact that they were lonely. Five of Pentacles talks about loneliness as well. The Justice card, the Ace of Wands, this person wanted some balance in their life and some passion in their life. They wanted to feel loved, but I think they become so numb to having a genuine, true connection to the point where this is what they have to do to people. It's like who you're dealing with must be one of those wounded warriors. At least that's what it looks like here, Taurus, where this person you're connecting with has been heartbroken before to the point where they can't trust themselves to fall in love and have a genuine, true connection. There always has to be something there. They always have to be somewhat protected. They always have to have some sense of control so that they can avoid heartbreak. I think who you're connecting with truly just fears being alone. I think who you're connecting with fears having no one. But what they fail to realize is by doing and committing the actions they do, they're going to have no one, to be very fair. So Taurus, taking a look at your person, there's definitely some feelings here that they're not admitting to themselves that they had for you. But one of the reasons they backed out from moving into a full-blown commitment with you was truly because they didn't necessarily feel 100% that that's what they wanted. But they kept you around that way. They manipulated you around that way so that they wouldn't have to be alone. Five of Pentacles. And like I did say, for some of you, this person could have been after your money as well. All right? But I do feel that loneliness theme being very present in this reading. But like I said too, I do feel that your person here is not admitting this to themselves. But there is a little bit, there is some feelings there. They did have some feelings for you. They're scared to admit that though. Okay? So anyways, Taurus, you know, when you figured out that this person is not going to deliver the promises that they've had, when you figure out that this person's just whispering sweet nothings, it instantly triggered you. You know, it brought you to a point where you're like, okay, this sucks, because I got very happy, I got very excited, I got very emotionally invested into somebody, and now I'm at a place where I have to kind of, balance my life out again. You know, get my shit back together, go back to ground zero, and move into a different direction. because when you figured out that this person was basically just whispering sweet nothings and things of that nature, it made you get to a point where you didn't want to continue sticking around with this or dealing with this connection because you just felt the negativity that it was bringing to you. You just saw how your happiness was there and how your happiness got sucked dry, okay? So Taurus, it's like this person brought a lot of happiness into your life in the beginning, but when you realize that like they were really just playing around with you and they weren't coming from a very genuine space, it's like the happiness that this person gave you was instantly retracted. So I feel like the moment you figure that out, you're totally like withdrawing from the connection. But let's take a look into your energy here, okay? Now, in regards to how Taurus feels towards the person they're dealing with, let's take a look here. How does Taurus feel towards the person they were dealing with, and what is going on with Taurus throughout the second half of April, please? Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs throughout April 15th to the 30th. How does Taurus feel towards the person they're dealing with, and what is going on with Taurus throughout the second half of April? So the first card out here, Eight of Cups. Remember, I said that. The moment you figured out what was going on with this King of Wands is the moment you walked away. It wasn't worth or valuable to stick around. You got here the Strength card. We got here the Nine of Wands. We got here the Death card, the Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Two of Cups, and then the Ten of Pentacles. And one last card, the Empress. Good. I like the Empress being a nice little touch at the end here. So, Eight of Cups to the Strength card. I think Taurus, and please don't use this, but I have to say it. I think some of you Tauruses here may be in a position where you're like, you know what? I'm used to people treating me like this. And when you're used to people treating you like this, that is a bad kind of habit to reinforce. So be mindful of those, or be mindful of, for those people that say that, be mindful of what you're kind of putting out into the universe. Don't be used to people treating you wrong. Don't be used to people treating you negatively, because when you're used to it, there tends to be more situations that arise, and you also tend to let people take more advantage of you. So the Strength card here, the Eight of Cups. These two cards are signifying, Taurus, that you're in a position where you're just bossing up and really cutting the cord. Even though you were very emotionally invested in this person, I just don't think that you had the time to really sit there and cry about it and sit there and be upset. I feel like you just cut ties with this person very quickly. You know, you let it came to an ending. So it was one of those situations where you were like, all right, let me cut ties, let me get out of there, and then deal with it on my own later. So you cut ties with this person very fast. And with the Five of Wands here, after you cut ties with them, that's when you started kind of processing your feelings and your emotions, and you've gone through waves of anger and waves of frustration and waves of sadness. You know, you started processing emotions right after you split ties with them, not when you initially found out what happened. And over here, we got the Nine of Wands to the Nine of Pentacles. I think you've recognized too, Taurus, throughout April mid-month, you know, you have two choices here. You could let this affect you and be in a place where, you know, you hide everything you felt, you push all your emotions deep inside, or you can be in a space where you just jump into the Nine of Pentacles, where you own what happened, and you realize that, hey, I'm the fucking shit, and this person didn't honestly treat me like I was the shit, and you know what? There's somebody else better out there that's gonna treat me like I'm the motherfucking shit, because you are the shit, Taurus. So you could go two directions, you know? You can go the direction of being upset that this person hurt you, and keep in mind, you're allowed to feel that way. You know, it's human. You're allowed to process your emotions, but the difference is that you're allowed to be upset about the situation, but dwelling on it is a different story. So Nine of Wands here, you could dwell on the situation at hand, you could feel unworthy, you could feel a lack of self-confidence, and that this person didn't necessarily care about you. But here with the Nine of Pentacles, oh, give me 1 second, guys. I hear one of my car alarms going off. Is that my car? I think that's my sister's car again. Okay, well, I'm sure she's going to take care of it, but I'm going to FaceTime her real quick. I'm going to keep the reading going because I don't feel like editing it. This happened earlier today, so her car alarm keeps going off. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, I hear the garage opening. Garage is opening. Okay, it should shut off shortly. It's very distracting to me. Very sorry, Taurus. Anyways, let me try to get focused here. Oh my god, take the key and shut off the alarm. Adding some comedic effect in an intense reading, huh? Okay, we're going to keep it going. Anyways, I heard somebody by the door. So, Taurus, getting back into this. Nine of Pentacles. There it is. It shut off. Thank God. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, like, little minute waste of time. I really do apologize. But either way, getting back into the reading, Taurus. Like I said, though, you could either be in the Nine of Wands energy where you are coming from a position of just having a total sense of no self-worth, lacking self-worth, you know, being angry about the situation and dwelling on it, or you can jump into the Nine of Pentacles, where you're in a position where you're totally bossing up and saying, fuck this shit, I'm amazing, I'm a beautiful person, I deserve better. And I feel like you are resonating with this energy throughout the second half of April. I feel like even though you may be processing emotions, you're cutting that connection off, and you're just not allowing it to control you any longer. And with the Nine of Pentacles here, you're just in a space where you're really bossing up and owning your independence and owning your confidence. And I think you just recognize that, you know what? I have dealt with many people that weren't for me. I've dealt with many people that have wronged me. And right now is about the time, or this is the time per se, for you to get back in touch with yourself and for you to get back in touch with creating a positive environment in your life. Remember, the overall energy at the beginning of the reading was the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups talks about self-fulfillment and really finding your inner peace, happiness, and tranquility. And all of that starts with you. Finding the love that you have for yourself, finding the happiness that lives within you, but also your external matters too, such as your surroundings, your energy that and the people that you deal with on a daily basis, and you're taking a look at what your environment is, and you're making sure that you have a healthy environment around you. And that's what the Ten of Pentacles is symbolizing, that you have a healthy dose of family, right? Good family, good vibes to be around. That you have great friends to rely on and talk to and be around, and that you have good people in your energy. And for the people that don't resonate, you're not going to be a part of that. And with the last card for you, which is a good finishing touch, is we have here the Empress. And with the Empress card being here, this is all about really stepping into your power of recognizing your divine feminine energy. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't matter if you're a guy watching this video, it doesn't matter if you're a girl watching this video. Every human has divine masculine and divine feminine energies. And the divine feminine energy is that energy of recognizing the beauty within thyself, the beauty within you. And because you see that beauty, and because you see that creation and that divine energy that you obtain and that you have, you're really in a place right now where you are just like, you know what? I feel sorry for the people that miss out on the opportunities with me. I feel sorry for this person. You get into this energy where you just realize that, like, if people want to throw an opportunity away with you, that's not your problem. That's not your fault. That's on them. And they're missing out on something huge and something relatively big. Okay? And like I told you before, with the person you're connecting with, whether they want to admit it to you or themselves, they have some sort of feelings. Okay? So they're definitely in a position where once they lose you, they're going to lose you. Remember how I said who you're connecting with, Taurus, was scared of being alone? Well, imagine them being alone from somebody that they actually kind of cared about, but didn't want to admit it. They could have gone through the process the most simple way. If they would have just been genuine from the start, if they would have just, taken the time to get to know you on a deeper level, they probably would have fell in love with you, and this probably would have been a beautiful connection. But they started off the relationship with manipulation, and it ends with karma. It ends with karma. It ends with you being in a space of, recognizing that your worthiness was being tested, and you passed the test. And for them, they missed out on a great opportunity with you. This person was good at making things that weren't so real appear real, but at the end of the day, if something's fake, eventually you're going to be able to spot it. Like those shoes. You ever see the people that count the shoes? They're like, yo, you see those new Nikes? Like, look at the stitching, bro. Look at the stitching. They're supposed to be 283 stitches, but I counted 195. They're fake. Like, you know what I'm saying? If something's fake, man, someone eventually is going to see it. Doesn't matter how long it takes, but they'll notice. Now, in regards to where energies are aligning, Taurus, between you and the person you're dealing with, let's take a look. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs throughout April 15th through the 30th, where energies aligning. We got here Four of Swords, we got here Ten of Cups, we got here Knight of Cups, and we got here Knight of Pentacles. Absolutely. You are splitting ways and parting ways from this person. 10 of Cups to the Knight of Cups is you being in a position where you're excited for whoever's to come next. You know, you're ready to move your love somewhere else. And I think that, you know, remember in the beginning, I touched bases in the beginning about how a lot of you Tauruses are not going to want to be vulnerable after this experience. But I think that the work you'll be doing in the mid-month of April will allow you to open yourself back up to the idea of love and being with another person. I don't think you're not going to be in a healing period for months. You may be in a healing period for the second half of April, but moving into like May, June, July, like you're ready to meet another person. You're ready to have a connection with someone because you're finding stability this month. Knight of Pentacles. You're finding stability this month, and it's a good thing. It's a lot of stability that you're finding here. And you're just coming from a place where you're very much so gonna be accepting yourself and loving yourself for who you are. I like it. In regards to the outcome between you guys, let's take a look here. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs throughout April 15th to the 30th. What is the overall outcome between Taurus and the person they're dealing with? And we got here the Queen of Wands. You know, if a player wants to play a game, eventually you'll outplay them. That was a tough one. I like that. If a player wants to play a game, eventually you'll outplay them. With the Queen of Wands here, this person just made you boss up even more. They made you tap back into the energy of, I know who I am, I stand in my power, and I'm not going to let you fuck with me, and I'm not going to let anybody test my worth again, because I serve for myself. And I serve and I focus on genuine fucking connections. And with the Three of Swords here, you know, I really feel like you're just recognizing that heartbreak actually helps you in certain situations too. Because with the Three of Swords to the Wheel of Fortune, you're recognizing that getting your heart broken has changed you into a person who recognizes that certain types of connections and certain type of people ain't shit. And I think you've came so far that you've realized too that nobody is going to have power over you. Take a look back into the beginning of the reading. The person you were dealing with was trying to have this control, this power over you by getting you emotionally invested, right? And I think whether you're emotionally invested or not, from this experience, you've grown in the sense of, even if you're emotionally invested in a person, the moment that you see somebody trying to take control of you or take power over you is the moment where you're done. Because you've changed a lot. This connection was almost like the last straw that's pushed you into your final evolution, Taurus. You're like a Pokemon finally evolving. You're not letting anybody take you for granted, and it doesn't matter how much you care about them anymore. You know, you can't be under anybody's spell. So this is the energy, Taurus, of I can't be put under anybody's spell, no matter how much I love or care for you. If you do me wrong, I'm going to take care of myself first. If you do me wrong, I'm going to look in my best interest and not in the interest of us collectively. So I like that, Taurus. I like that a lot. I definitely see here that this person and then this reading has really taught you that no matter how close people are, no matter what people say, or no matter how much you may love and care for a person, if someone is treating you how you shouldn't be treated, you should stand up for yourself regardless. And that's what you're doing here. Because here's the thing, Tauruses can be very loyal to other individuals. Tauruses can be very loyal to people and very forgiving. But I think right now this is just you recognizing, if you are not being fair to me, if you are not being right to me and coming at me right, coming at me correct, then it doesn't matter how much I love or care for you. I don't want that energy in my life. I need to serve myself. And I need to make sure that people are not overstepping my boundaries. So I like it here, Taurus. You're not taking no bullshit from anybody. And your confidence here is really skyrocketing too. Magnificent, dude. Magnificent fucking reading. Man, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, if it resonates, let me know down in the comments down below. Taurus, take care, man. Have a happy early birthday. I hope you guys are going to have a good one, man. If it resonates, of course, let me know. If it doesn't resonate, better luck next time. We'll always be pumping out readings on this channel. One of them is bound to resonate to your personal situation. Much love, guys. Have an awesome, fantastic, amazing rest of your day. And I will see you guys in May 2020. Catch you later, Taurus. Peace.